Welcome back to another episode of Chill Instagram Tips with Katie. I'm kidding, I'm not starting a new series that's called that or anything, but if you watched my video from earlier in this week, you'll know what I'm talking about. Today, we are just gonna sit here and chat one-to-one, and I wanna share with you how to be more confident on Instagram in your photos for your feed and in videos for your stories. So many people struggle with feeling like they can put themselves out there on Instagram. This is something I come across a lot, especially because I share so much about being personal, being vulnerable, and sharing yourself openly with your followers, because I really believe that's how you build deeper connections. But I know that can be scary for some people. I mean, let alone being vulnerable. Let's just talk about actually showing your face on camera. Some of you might struggle with that. And so that's why I thought today, let's just have a sit-down chat about, how I've become more confident on Instagram and how you might be able to do the same. Because I think that not only will you feel better about yourself, I think you'll experience more confidence and self-love in your everyday life, but it will also help you with your Instagram growth and just building a genuine community. First off, let's talk about stories, because I think a lot of people struggle with getting up the confidence to just talk into their camera, record themselves speaking directly to their audience, and then post it. It can feel scary because it's sort of like public speaking. I think for a lot of us, and let me know in the comments if I've got this right, because I definitely experienced this, but maybe I'm the only one. Back when I was switching my account over from just being my personal account, this is where my friends and family follow me, all my friends from university follow me here. And when I was yeah, this is gonna be my business account and I wanna grow it for my business, I want more followers, I'm not just speaking to my friends and family when I make this content. It was kind of an awkward transition because I was kind of nervous about talking on my Instagram stories, because I was the people that I'm talking to are not really the people that are following me right now. So it's kind of this weird thing if I'm gonna jump on Instagram stories and be like, hey everybody, check out my latest YouTube video, I'm giving you advice about Instagram. It's the dude who lived down the hall from me in my residence building doesn't care about that. So then it feels weird to be talking about it. I feel like I had imposter syndrome of people would think that I was playing pretend as an influencer or something, oh, she thinks she's an influencer, what's she doing? So I really get that. I feel like maybe that is some of the struggle that you might be experiencing, of feeling oh, well, if I start talking to the camera on Instagram stories, all my friends and family are going to think what's she doing? Who does she think she is, etc. And I'm going to be honest, there might be some people who think that, but they can unfollow you. It's definitely an awkward transition. It feels a little bit weird and uncomfortable, but I think if you're serious about eventually wanting to have tons of followers that you are speaking to on stories, then the first step towards that is start talking on your Instagram stories. And then you can start weeding out your current audience of people who aren't into that and aren't going to be supportive. They can unfollow you and that's fine. You don't need them. So I just want to say that I empathize with that. I understand it's weird and uncomfortable, and I definitely had those moments when I was transitioning into trying to be an influencer account or whatever, because it's okay, but the people who follow me know me in real life, so this is weird. But eventually that transition does happen and it doesn't feel uncomfortable anymore. So you kind of just have to rip off the band-aid and go for it in terms of that social weirdness of the people that I'm talking to are not the people who are following me. But trust me, eventually by doing the work of talking to your audience, creating the right content, those two things will come into alignment. The second part of talking on Instagram stories that can feel weird is just talking to a camera. I know for a lot of people that is a very strange thing that they do not have a lot of practice with, and so it just feels kind of what am I doing sitting here in an empty room talking to myself? That got a little bit too meta, because all of a sudden I was thinking what am I doing here sitting in this empty room talking to myself? But I know that you guys are on the other end eventually. And so to get over that just camera weirdness, what I would recommend starting with, and I think a lot of people are doing this now, is just record yourself on Snapchat and send it to your friends. So next time you have kind of a funny story that happens to you, or a question for your friends that's going to take a long time to type, you probably already do this, just record a video of yourself and then send it to them. And that's going to help you get a little bit more used to talking to a camera unprompted and feeling you can make eye contact with the lens instead of staring at yourself and all that stuff. And once you get a little bit more used to that, then you can graduate to recording those in Instagram and maybe just post them for your close friends. Once that gets comfy, then you can post them for your whole audience. So I really think that you need to simultaneously work on these two sides of like getting over the imposter syndrome and the social weirdness of like, oh, these people are gonna wonder what I'm doing. Try to deal with that. That's a mindset thing. And then the other part is just the technical practice of getting comfortable speaking to a camera. And so there is practice behind that, because normally in a conversation there would be a back and forth. Someone would be saying something to you, you would respond. But with this, you have to get used to basically monologuing and just speaking like unprompted to the camera. And when you can bring those two things together, that is going to help you a lot with your confidence on Instagram stories. Now let's talk about still photos. Now, I'm going to be honest, a lot of us, the root of our insecurity or lack of confidence with posting still photos to our feeds, again, comes down to a few different mindset pieces. One of those, similar to stories, is the imposter syndrome. You feel like it's narcissistic to post so many photos of myself. People are going to wonder, like, who does she think she is? Why is she posting these photos? Like, it's weird. She's not an influencer. What is she doing? And again, I know it's uncomfy. I know that it's awkward, but in order to get to the point where you have that audience for that kind of content, you need to just start posting that content to attract that audience. So yeah, I'm gonna be real. It's gonna feel weird for a bit. You're gonna feel like, why am I like posting these photos and writing these long captions for, you know, whatever, my old high school classmates? It's fine. Like, they'll unfollow you or they'll maybe like it. So that's just another ripping off the Band-Aid thing. I think the other part of the mindset around why it feels difficult to post photos of yourself to your feed is maybe because you're dealing with a little bit of insecurity or poor body image. And that is a really, really tough thing that I want you to know that I feel all the empathy for, and I'm right there with you. It's a journey that we're all on. And so I think that to move towards feeling confident posting photos of yourself in your feed, I really do think it is a little bit of a self-love journey of looking in the mirror every day and finding something about yourself that you really like. And learning to embrace the stuff that you maybe don't like as much either, and knowing that your worth doesn't come down to what you look like and what your body looks like. And every body is beautiful, but also beauty isn't what is worthy about a human being. There are so many important things about you besides just your physical, manifestation in the world. I feel like I could talk on and on in this video all about how amazing you are and how you don't need to feel insecure about your body, but really what it's going to come down to is doing the work yourself over lots of time. Like, it can take months and years to really feel that confidence. And so I think, as much as I normally talk about really surface level Instagram advice, I think that this really does come down to working through, your feelings about yourself and becoming more confident and knowing that you are worthy of sharing yourself online and that you're beautiful. It's not narcissistic to post photos of yourself. It's not narcissistic to like the photos of yourself. In a world, in a society that exists under the patriarchy and where women are taught to hate every little detail about themselves, and we're conditioned to purchase every little product that's supposed to fix all of those problems, I really believe it's an act of rebellion to say, I love the way I look in this photo. I think I look amazing. There's nothing I would change about this. Don't fall into the trap of thinking that that is narcissistic or selfish. It is an act of self-love and a rebellion against our capitalist system that makes us think that we need to buy every cream and ointment and eyeshadow to fix all the things that are wrong with us. This video turned into a feminist rant, which is not what I intended, but I kind of am vibing with it. I had some tips written down about how to feel more comfortable on camera and that kind of thing, but if you want to see more of that, I already have a video that's about how to pose when you're awkward, how to take photos of yourself, that kind of thing. So you can watch that next. Also, please subscribe if you want to hear more Instagram tips. But really, I hope that you liked this video that was a little bit different. I think that confidence really does come down to self-love and practicing that and just ripping off the Band-Aid and going for it. Like, sink or swim, you will get through it. Trial by fire. I believe in you. Thank you so much for watching this video. Definitely let me know your thoughts in the comments because I would love to hear them. And as always, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in this video. Okay, bye!